Everybody. We want to ask for a prayer.
Quickly, permit me to read from the book of Exodus, chapter 33, 12 to 17. And Moses said unto the Lord, See, thou sayest unto me, Bring up this people, and thou hast not let me know whom thou wilt send with me. Yet thou hast said, I know thee by name, and thou hast also found grace in my sight. Now therefore I pray thee, if I have found grace in thy sight, show me now thy way, that I may know thee, that I may find grace in thy sight, and consider that this nation is thy people. 14. And he said, My presence shall go with thee, and I will give thee rest. And he said unto him, If thou present go not with me, carry me not up hence. 16. For when shall it be noon, yea, that I and thy people have found grace in thy sight? Is it not in that thou goest with us? So shall we be separated, I and thy people, from all the people that are upon the face of the earth. 17. And the Lord said unto Moses, I will do this thing also that thou hast spoken, for thou hast found grace in my sight, and I know thee by name. If we would take statistics this morning of everyone that is seated here and even at the balcony, we'll find that everybody will say they are Christian. But the problem is that if we confess to be Christian, then we must depend on God to lead us. Here in the text, we see Moses being asked by God to take the children of Israel from Egypt to the promised land. But Moses said to God, God, I know you know me by name, but I would like for you to be with me to take these people to the promised land. Mr. Director-Designate, I want to ask you this morning to kindly depend on God as you, if you'll be designated, if you'll be confirmed as a director, to lead and spearhead the affair of that entity of our country. Without God, you will not make it. You'll fail miserably. Brothers and sisters, we men of our time here at the gates of our country, let us depend on God to lead this country. 170 some more years, most of our leaders have failed because they have failed to depend on God. Moses is about to lead a nation from Egypt, God's people from Egypt to the promised land. But he's asking God, if I don't find grace in your sight, I will not be able to go. Though you know me by name, though you have called me one of your servants, but if you, God, are not present with me, I will not make it. If you don't ask God to always be with you in those times of challenge and focus on God, you will not make it. You'll feel miserably. May God help all of us to do the same as we lead, as we spearhead the affairs of our nation. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this day. We give you the glory. We give you the honor. In Jesus' name we pray.
Thank you so much. Okay, so by way of introduction, my name is Senator Momo Tamikoli Cyrus, representing the great people of Lofa County. I chair the Committee on Defense, Intelligence, Security, and Veteran Affairs. I have the distinguished honor of presiding over this conversation here. May God help me in the process. distinguished colleagues, I said before you today not just as a chairman of the Senate Committee on Defense, Security, Intelligence, and Veteran Affairs, but as a concerned patriot, deeply troubled by the state of our national security apparatus. The Liberian National Police is tasked to uphold the law and order that are facing challenges that demand our immediate attention and collective efforts. Having said that, Mr. Nominee, let me inform you to be relaxed, comfortable. You are about to take on the mantle of the police if confirmed. That is a huge task. And that unit is called Unit 100. First line of defense in the national security apparatus. Will you feel relaxed, feel comfortable? You are on oath, later on, speak the truth, but nothing but the truth. Speak the truth, but nothing but the truth. If you speak something that is not truthful, it might haunt you in your condition this determination. So we want you to speak the truth, but nothing but the truth. Having said that, Sergeant, can somebody please let him take his quote?
Yes, sir.
Sit down.
I, Gregory Coleman, a bona fide citizen of the Republic of Liberia,
do hereby swear
do hereby swear
that the testimony I am about to give
that the testimony I am about to give
and my recollection
and to my recollection
is the truth
is the truth
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you. Let me use this opportunity to kindly ask all senators in the House to introduce themselves and the county from. Let's start from Senator Sidney.
Good morning, my name is Senator Jonathan Rocha Sopwith, and I represent the people of Energy County.
Good morning, my name is Thomas Yaya Nimlin, Senator Grand Judah County.
Edwin Navarro, Senator of Bowman County, member of the
Daniel Edwin Hill, Senator of Makiti County, member of the
Senator Johnny Wotobe, Bong County.
Senator Tapa Mabane Frank,
The Francis Noble Reggie County.
Senator Creighton Owen Duncan from Sino County, member of the committee.
Senator Nominee T.H. Batekwa, representing Great Crew, member of the committee.
Senator Blessed lives on Thin Lip, the county where the nominee hails from.
You gotta recuse yourself.
I don't even know the gentleman.
Provide your security.
Thank you, Senators, for the introduction. At this time, let me ask the nominee to kindly introduce himself and give us your opening statement why you think you are competent and qualified and duly seated to head this very important institution, the National Police. Let me come to a point. Hold on, let me finish. We are going to have this section two folds. This is a national security confrontation. Some information may be very sensitive for the public. You might choose to not answer questions that may be posed to you if it has national security implications, we can resort to, we can, go to 3 months and have those discussions finalized. So you have the options to answer a very sensitive question or not to answer a sensitive question. Thank you.
On an inquiry, the point I want to inquire upon is that it's an inquiry and a question also. This committee, as you're aware, the role of the committee is to deal with the drugs issue. One of the responsibilities. One of the responsibilities. So, it could be a question, but I want to address it before the committee introduces itself. I want to make it a requirement that before the nominee, any nominee appearing, especially security nominee appearing, we discuss the issue of a drug test before the person should introduce himself, because we're going to be dealing with drug issues. So I wanted the committee to discuss that and agree on it.
Senators, gave yes on those questions come in our cross-examination.
When you introduce it, I want to make a point.
Go ahead, Mr. Nominee.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I'm honored and humbled to appear before you today as President Walker's nominee for the Inspector General of the Liberia National Police. I am deeply grateful to the Almighty God, through the President, for the opportunity to return to public service and to lead the remarkable women and men of the Liberia National Police, to whom I commit here this day to lead, support, and develop. If confirmed, I will do everything in my power to justify the trust placed in me and to earn the trust of this committee, the legislature, and the Liberian people. My whole life has been shaped by public service and my virtues of faith, family, and hard work. Over the years, I have significantly contributed through teams of professionals towards strengthening the integrity of the institution, gaining the trust and legitimacy of the community, increasing accountability, and attracting the admiration of the force at local and international levels. The police force that I'm inheriting has faced a share of criticism and mistrust. I recognize the impact it has had on our relationship with the community, and I believe that restoring faith and confidence is the most important issue that we're going to be dealing with. I'm here to listen, learn, and take the necessary actions where needed. I've experienced, just like nearly every living Liberian, fear in the absence of security. We all have seen what can happen when the foundation of the rule of law crumbles. The most fundamental building block of the foundation of the rule of law is a capable and just police force. It is essential for a just, prosperous, and stable nation, for healthy communities, and to generate opportunities and jobs for all citizens. During my 17 years of service in the national security sector, I devoted my life to building that foundation. I saw each day how the Liberia National Police is Liberia's preeminent national security institution, the one that ordinary Liberians see every day. As such, I coined the phrase that the police is the graphic representation of the state's authority. It must be strong for Liberia to be stable and prosper. This is precisely what President Boga and the Liberian people expect of the LNP. If confirmed, my vision for the Liberia National Police centers on 4 pillars: service, integrity, partnership, and leadership. That leadership will be focused on people mentality, because what is suitable for Liberian people is good for the Liberian National Police as well. Transparency, accountability, and trust will be the cornerstones of our work moving forward. I'm committed to improving the way we communicate with the community, ensuring that our actions are understandable and justifiable. We will be open about our policies, procedures, decision-making process, and everything that involves the well-being of our people. I understand that trust cannot be demanded, but rather it must be earned. To achieve this, we will work tirelessly to strengthen our relationship with the community. We will engage in dialogues and actively seek feedback from all stakeholders. I encourage you to share your concerns, suggestions, ideas whenever they are needed. Together, we will develop innovative approaches to policing that address the unique concerns of our communities. Creating a culture of excellence, respect, and justice for all will be at the heart of our efforts. We will invest in training and professional development to ensure that our officers have the necessary skills and knowledge to serve the community very, very effectively. Our interactions will be rooted in respect for the dignity and rights of every individual we encounter. I understand that words alone are not enough. Actions speak louder, and I am committed to taking concrete steps to bring about meaningful change. I will hold our officers accountable for their actions, and I expect nothing less than the highest standards of professionalism and integrity. But I cannot do this alone. I call on each and every one of you to join me on this journey towards a brighter future for the Liberian National Police and the community we serve. I invite your support, feedback, partnership as we navigate the challenges ahead. Together, we can build a police force that our community can trust and rely upon. Finally, there is nothing more important than the Liberian people, and they will be central to every decision we make as Inspector General. During my years of service, I have learned that Liberia's dynamic security environment requires factual reaction to changing situations on the ground in order to save lives and address security threats as they emerge. I also learned that simply reacting is not enough. The LNP must proactively protect the Liberian people and our communities across the country and the state as an institution. Previously as IG, I worked with stakeholders across government, our international partners, and all of the communities in Liberia to adopt proactive, conflict-sensitive, community-oriented policing model, by working closely with communities to identify potential issues before they arise and escalate into major problems. Law enforcement can address the deeper root causes. I repeat, proper law enforcement can address the deeper root causes, not just the symptoms. This in turn leads to a better community relationship. No partnership will be more important to me than the one I hope to build with all of you on this committee. Times of transition reminds us all that we are Liberians and we are all committed to seeing a better Liberia for our children and grandchildren. This shared purpose connects us. I respect the crucial oversight role, which allows the Liberian people to have confidence that the Liberian National Police is working faithfully on their behalf and living up to the values. I pledge to you all and the Liberian people that if confirmed, I will work tirelessly to continue strengthening the LNP and ensuring Liberia is peaceful, secure, and a stable nation. The Liberian people expect this and deserve nothing less. Thank you for the opportunity to address you, and I look forward to a dialogue and answering any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Nominee Jesse, for the IG position. At this time, may I please ask Senator as to whether everybody has got the CV of the IG Designate. If you don't have the profile of the who can provide one.
Mr. Chair, 1 second please, I just forgot. Before even going any further, I would like to submit to you a CO copy from Wellness Partner just delivered at the last edition of my drug test results.
Oh, that's excellent. Seals.
Let me inspect that.
Very impressive.
Let me read it.
Forensic.
It is, Mr. Chair, it is properly sealed.
Very impressive. Very
Properly sealed.
You are set a new standard.
But I look at it and I tell you it's properly sealed. Don't inspect it. You should accuse yourself. I will accuse myself. Yeah, my help you will be
Yeah, and I verify the seal. Let me see.
Mr. Chair,
This is properly sealed. Very impressive. The chair help.
Senator Maggie, protector, proceed.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Distinguished police, we should take this thing very serious. Distinguished police. The nominee presenter is, the presenter of the document says that God tell you. I would suggest that we qualify in the medical area. Anybody can go get people from anywhere inside drug test. Right. Anybody can get people from anywhere inside drug test. So we should have qualified people. As we speak right now, we have qualified people in this building right now. So we can invite them to come do drug test. I can be the president of my drug test. I get that around here. We'll get people from the drug test. The medical center will bring them, they testify before month that they can provide the kind of drug test they can do with no aid. The director already gave up paper. I'll show you. I mean, you can do a drug test right before. So as a chairman, I would like to Mr. Chair, I'm suggesting, Mr. Chair, this committee make sure that all security personnel that will appear before us do a public drug test by a certified doctor that we will approve. And that result will be certified by us. That's why I bring a medical report from someone that we don't know.
Senator Maggie, your point is well taken. Thank you.
So I want the committee to allow that we invite Dr. Brown and other medical doctors.
Senator Maggie, your point is well taken. The next other day will be considered by the committee.
We have to dispose of them, Mr. Chair.
It's not on law. It's not on law. It's not a requirement.
Mr. Chairman, I don't want to matter of take a vote on the government. Order, I'm going to rule on this issue. Like I said, we don't have time. Senator Maggie, the point is well taken. And overruled, and the next holiday will be considered by the committees. Proceed. Mr. Nominee. Order, please. Senators, order, please. We have another two.
You've been asking other nominees to and you have a nominee before the president deal with drug
I have ruled the case. Mr. Nominee, can you go ahead? We will now cross-examine you. Our senators will have given the opportunity to cross-examine you. So, like I said initially, you have honor oath. Speak the truth, but nothing but the truth. If you find a question to be of national security sensitive, you can tell me, as chairman, that you are not comfortable to answer the question, and we'll write to another Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So,
Let me answer.
Mr. Chairman, has the nominee been placed on a oath?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But you can ask my question.
No, you stop this.
No, you are making intervention, now you can't even.
Have we concluded that?
The chairman, the rapporteur to decide.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Thank you very much. Our nominee, thank you for coming. I took some considerable time last night to review your resume. And I want to say thank you. You have a very impressive resume. This is the House of Senate. This is not a executive branch. Because the president says he will do drug test or something, and we need to make it I need to go there because thank you very much. My first question here is, you have served in this position before, right? Do you believe in democracy? Do you believe in the right of your citizens to move? Do you believe in the three fundamental rights of democracy: freedom of movement, freedom of assembly, and freedom of speech? It's a yes or no question.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. In the years that you have served, including the other inspector generals that have served, in 2003, the United Nations came and erected gates because our country was not safe. But as of the time they left, the gates have increased. Could you explain to me whether there's a law within the Republic of Liberia that gates should be erected across the country?
No. I do not know of any law that instructs people to erect gates anywhere around the country.
Are you also aware that there have been gates erected across the country by police and other paramilitary security?
Well, as I drive around the country doing my non-governmental engagements, I've noticed a lot of checkpoints along the road.
What's your position on that?
Well, we took an action before I was instructed to remove all of those checkpoints because it became a serious hindrance to movement within the West African sub-region. And there were complaints from other countries that there was just continuous harassment in Liberia by security actors. We took a drive from the old water side all the way to Maryland, and we counted over 86 checkpoints.
Sure.
Out of which we were able to remove 60 of those checkpoints. So most of those checkpoints that were removed back then, over the last few years, as I move around the country, I see some of them have been re-erected.
Sure. I come from Nigeria, and I said, at every entrance into any community in Nigeria, there's a gate. And both the security, police, immigration, DEA, whoever you name, they are extracting money from the civilians that are traveling, and they are putting in their daily susu, using the monies from the civilians. When and if you become, what's your vision, what's your position on that?
Well, I may not be privileged to what they do with this issue of extortion, but my stance on it has not changed. I've told them over and over that not because you have a police station on the road means that you must have a checkpoint. So we will revert to status quo ante and make sure all of those points are removed, and we will do everything to improve accountability.
Thank you, officer. My third question. In the past years, including current time, police have recruited on their own cadets that they have uniformed, that are performing police roles and responsibilities in the counties without being recognized or being employed by the government. These people have been volunteering and acting as police officers for the past 3, 4 years, or 5 years, if I should say. What is your position when you become Inspector General?
Well, I do not know by which authority they recruited at local levels for people to act in that role. I will find out the existing order, but the rights and condition of service for police and all of our policies and procedures give definite access to as to how you can become a police officer. And if they haven't gone through what is written, then we will have to take some action.
And what would those actions be?
Definitely relieve them because they're not police officers. I mean, they don't even need to be relieved.
They have been serving the police for the past 4 or 5 years. So what will your action be then?
Well, it depends. It depends. If, like I say, I'm not fully aware of the authority that has kept them there, but I will look and see what authority gave them that power to operate as police officers. On the basis of that information, we can take a more informed decision. But like I said, we have access point to enter police, so we'll follow that as well.
Thank you, officer. My next question. 2003 to 2005, we participated in the recruitment and training of police officers by the United Nations. And the United Nations brought a brochure training manual that dealt with community policing. Do you see any community policing in Liberia today?
Yes, there is still community policing in Liberia today, and we are going to be standing on that existing platform and just improving it. It is my hope that we're going to blend it with existing tools. In 2016 and 17, when I served as Inspector General of Police, we used a mechanism that we did not have the time to go ahead and theorize, but we applied it and it worked. And that was the fact that we took the conflict sensitivity tool and the do no harm concept, blended it with community policing, and we were able to effectively police the state without any hindrances. This time around, I expect to take it one step further, and that is to now blend it with the concept of anti-fragility, where we're going to be building stronger bonds with the community that can absorb shocks. You know, there are times that things happen in the community go amok because they don't have that kind of relationship. If you got this bottle to the floor, it may take a dent, but it will not break. If it was a glass bottle, it would definitely break. And to be in a relationship with the community is like a glass bottle. What we intend to transform it to is to a structure that can absorb shock and help to protect the people better.
Thank you. I hope to see that because it has been 20 years. I have not seen that. I've seen that happen in the counties.
You have an opportunity and you will see it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The next question is, between you and the judge, the police and the judge, who has the right, the legal right to sentence someone into prison?
Police has no sentencing power as far as memory serves me.
I have witnessed over the years in my county that your police have been sentencing people into prison. What is your position on that?
Well, I cannot speak to that because it never happened under my watch. It's absolutely impossible that happened under my watch.
Were you given the authority to do so? What would be your position on that?
Well, there's no further authority needed to deal with the issue of such. Obviously, if the police officer takes such action, he's outside of his limits, and as such, the regulations will apply to him.
How long the police that you assign to the counties, what is their duration of stay on their assignment?
So there's been a lot of work done on the administrative instructions and regulation, and I know we have some documents that cover rotation. So I don't know what those changes are. When I get seated and have privilege to access all of the documents, I can't be able to give you a definite answer. As a matter of fact, I will take note of your question, and I will personally write to you when I'm seated with the exact answer of your question. So,
I will appreciate that.
thank you.
Chair, I'm through with the nominee.
Thank you so much, Senator from Nigeria. Also, we now take Senator Johnny from Bon County, then we go to Senator Sidney from Georgia.
Yeah, good morning, Chair. Good morning, Mr. Gregory. My question has to do with the ethics committee of the LNP. how are you going to work to make sure that the law enforcement is performed in our county, more especially in some county, what I come from our county, we realize that a lot of police are not really following the ethical rules. So how are you going to entangle ethic relationship to the citizens and that of the police?
So there are multiple ways of engaging with that, and one of which I mentioned in my opening remark, and it has to do with training. There has to be more training over the time when if you don't practice, you don't go back for training to refresh yourself, you tend to forget. And then sometimes comparison fatigue as well sets in and it takes away a lot of the ethics. So it is our hope that this body will be able to provide us the needed support to give us more access to training, that we will be able to correct that. More so, there is the Professional Standards Division that has been actively working at the Liberia National Police, and that body has been very, very strongly investigating all ethical breaches that have been reported. And I would like to encourage each and every one of us that, whenever there's a situation or such that you notice people in your area, please direct them to the Professional Standards Division, and they will definitely be served justice.
My second question has to do with motivation. How will you work to motivate your staff on your jurisdiction? Because most of the things you see, police officer fee, that's what they want to do because they feel that they're not taking the regular salary, they feel that their uniform is not changing on time, they feel that their assignment is government, and they feel that what is supposed to participate or what is supposed to, when you have rotation, you are not going to take that to a better position than what it is. How are you going to handle that?
Okay, so we'll deal with that in two parts. And the first one, the most important I would like to leave for the last, and that is the issue of the compensation that goes along with the motivation. However, we have to in order to encourage the officers, we have to deal away with the spoil system and ensure that we activate the merit system within the police. Now, someone who's assigned in one county doesn't need to have someone to stir the water and push them in before they're able to move to a next rank. I'll be asking each and every one of you here to support that. Based on your intervention on how to uphold these professional standards. Because we're now going back, as a matter of fact, in one of my engagements with the administration of police, I've asked for detailed listing of the rankings and all of the requirements. And we're going to go rank by rank, checking whether people acting in those ranks hold the necessary qualifications. So we're going to be taking some stern actions to restore merit and uphold the professionalism within the police service. As it relates to the compensation is way below anything that the officers can even reliably survive on for half month. And that cuts across all levels. So it comes back to this body to give us that support, to provide the necessary funding, to increase the salary of the officers. And these officers, they've been demotivated over the years for many different reasons, but that salary component is one of the most important reasons. So in this, at this particular point in time, let me make this as an official request, even if confirmed or not confirmed, because there's two things, to be confirmed or not confirmed. Even if not, to ensure that somebody leads that charge to make these officers' compensation to be at least acceptable to international standards.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's it from Roger.
Thank you, Mr. Witness.
Order, please.
Chairman, have you phrased it with you?
Yeah. Security issue. Order, please. Order, please.
Chairman, have you phrased it with you? Chairman, this is a house of elders.
Yeah.
So, that's not. So, Mr. Accusations, I am concerned about the issue of integrity. So, you worked at the Bureau of Concession. as a Director General. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. At that point, there were several allegations against you for unwholesome practices. One of which I see here that you communicated through your inter-office memo to the Human Resource Department requesting to place the stipend of certain of your employees, and I want to underscore that word employees, through checks. What necessitated that decision?
Well, I mean, I'm not privileged to what you're holding, so I cannot.
Sergeant?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, asking for order, Mr. Chairman. The order is that that document will be passed to the chairman to
Okay, so I'll give you the chair. Thank you, sir.
Order in that case, order, Mr. Chairman. I have not seen that document. I would suggest that all senators would have privilege.
No.
Okay, look, so for the sake of time, I will give the opportunity to please examine the documentation. Samuel?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, order. Mr. Chairman, like the record says, all confirmation here. Maybe this is also good for the public. Most times when the nominee comes here, the public think that this is confirmation, then we confirm or deny the person here. Confirmation hearing are into stages. So this is the public aspect of it.
Yes.
And then we'll revert to the committee room. We deliberate, come over our report. And the third phase will come to plenary where all senators will take a vote on the record. I would suggest, Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, all of us with documents on the nominee, it goes to committee room. We review it in committee room, and if we need to call it the nominee to come for further questioning, we call it.
Okay. So, listen, order. The opportunity was given to the nominee to answer question or not to answer question. Order, please. I did get the leverage to the nominee to answer question or not to answer question. If he doesn't see this as good enough to answer, he will answer. So please get it.
To be paid by checks. This document was sent to me, request from the Human Resource Department to pay the new employees that didn't have an account. And that's how it was approved for them to be paid in this manner.
So let me let me restate here. That memo came from you. Yes. To the Human Resource.
No, sir. It says to Honorable Gregory Coleman from Human Resource.
Mr. Coleman, by reason of that document.
It's right here. It's very clear. To Gregory Coleman from Gregory Coleman.
All right. So based on that internal memo, this is the payroll of the Bureau of Concession. Would you like to submit this again?
Yes, please. Please, yes, please. He has the right to excuse the chairman.
Go to committee room.
Just as well ask the question.
Order, please. Order, please.
have a nominee here. The procedure is we ask questions.
We have one chair on national security, defense, and intelligence, and that is the Honorable Musa.
It's not a mistake.
You can't do that.
Each candidate represents the committee.
So that she asked a question.
Mr. Chair, I'm saying the nominee needed to be getting this document to have enough time to defend himself. Now you don't put document to
Mr. Nominee, can you respond to that?
Yes, I can.
Mr. Chairman, that's entrapment. No, can you please entrapment? No, that's entrapment. That document, we got a committee room discussing that. That's entrapment. Mr. Nominee, can you respond to the document as to whether you come back or Mr. Nominee, can you please proceed and press
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I believe the Nigerian Anti-Corruption Commission has statutory responsibility to investigate all of the allegations that are being mentioned here. And if I may be correct, and you may stop me if I'm not, the Anti-Corruption Commission had a full-scale investigation.
We are not getting to that.
No.
You can't confront the senator.
Chief, do not stop me when I'm
You
talking.
can't confront the senator.
You can't do that.
Go ahead. Just go with your explanation. We need a plan.
I am not talking about the Anti-Corruption Commission. I'm asking you.
Order, Senator Sende.
This is investigated by the Anti-Corruption Commission.
That's all.
Yes.
Going forward, all documents that has to be admitted will be received by the chairman and will be communicated to the nominee and will meet him in the committee room.
Thank you.
So, yes, Senator Snow from Bombing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Gregory Coleman.
Yes, sir.
Gregory Coleman.
Question of hostile.
Mr. Gregory Coleman. Are you on drugs?
Absolutely not, sir.
We have now reviewed your sealed document, so we'll review it openly, but I just thought to ask that question first. You served as IG police for a few years before the 2017 election. After you left the police, today we have counties in Liberia that have maybe just 6 police officers. Some of the counties, the police officers, no uniform. We have cases in Liberia where police go to arrest someone in their home, get them from motorbike. No morale for the police, no logistics. If not found, can you pledge that we improve the morale of the Liberia National Police like we did when you served as active police?
Most definitely, sir.
Mr. Nominee. Mr. Nominee, we see in the traffic where our police officers, the traffic police, they have two ways of being paid, either by the commercial vehicles or the government of Liberia. And it's becoming so rampant. You get a checkpoint, you see the policeman. When you put your hair in the car, you know what's up. During your turning, actually, I didn't see much of that. You can show us that if confirmed, you restore that dignity to that Liberian National Police.
Yes, I will, sir.
Those are IT police. I'm so Nominee. Are you a member of any political party?
Absolutely no, sir. Never in line.
So I've never had a card for any political party?
Never.
So, over the period, we witness groups of diverse backgrounds entering the ground of the Capitol building, slogans, political, different interests. There have been times where they've even come up to our chambers, going to our offices. I'm reminded of the situation in the United States after the election.
January 6th.
January 6th, thank you. Where people, there was an attack, so to speak, on Capitol Hill, Congress. The then Vice President survived that attack by his kingdom. We see the same spirit being developed in Liberia. What would be your approach? Will you encourage us through the spirit community to have Capitol Police, or can the LNP provide security on this ground? Then today when I came here, I see banner out there with a picture on one, AB Kuma picture on one, this and that. And people coming with drone yesterday who now have seats here. Fortunately, the chairman of Foreign Affairs was postponed on hearing yesterday. Law and order seem to be breaking down. There are instances where our own staff here, that should be our first line of rescue, they will even block us from coming to work. What do you encourage? Should we have Capitol Police, or you think the Liberian National Police should take charge of providing security on this Capitol?
So, Senator, if my memory serves me right, we were in a discussion at some point in time about either expanding the service of the police to cover the house, and then we're also discussing that of the Capitol Police. But I would like for us to look at the details in another setting than for us to just come up with one definite answer here at this point in time.
Thank you very much. All right, Gregory Coleman. You obtained your bachelor in 2004 from Washington. You went to Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration.
Yes, sir.
2013. You went to Harvard University, John F. Kennedy School of Government in 2016.
Yes, sir.
You served the Liberian National Police, and I've been honest, in living memory, you have served, when you served the Liberian National Police, you brought dignity to the police force. I will close by encouraging you, if you are hotel home or friend, I will encourage you to restore the same dignity in the Liberian police. Give our police the pride they deserve. There's information that the police has been fashionalized. Bring them together. Let's work together. And Mr. Nominee, you have my vote.
Thank you, sir.
Ex-President General.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So, Senator, that when you hear where the introduction was done, all senators, can you kindly introduce yourself so that the nominee will answer you for your title? All senators that when you hear when we tell the introduction, kindly introduce yourself to the nominee. Yes, Mr. Chair,
we recognize it. As soon as Senator Johnson, you say, it was
Mr. Nominee, before Mange speak, I reckon, maybe Mr. Chairman, I recognize the lawyer with the president.
so, Mr. Nominee,
And the co-chair also. So the co-chair also.
Mr. Co-Chair, can you just do the second do the formal introduction? I need to copy from just by way of introduce yourself.
And the one for the secretary.
I'm Senator Chris Johnson from Zena County, the co-chair.
Somebody?
Yes. This way, Senator Augustine Chair, Simon County, member of the committee. Sir.
James Bynum from Maryland, member of the committee.
Abraham Darrell, member of the committee.
Thank you. By way of appreciating Senators Prince White Johnson, he's the doyen of the Liberian Senate. So I want to recognize him for doing. Thank you. So Senator Maggie, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. The nominee.
You have the floor. You have the floor.
So, by order of adjournment, the co-chair will speak before the chair.
Why the chairman of the co-chair?
Well, if you want to just say something.
But you were saying.
No, the co-chair speaks, then the chair speaks, they will finish.
The chairman
That's
of
how
the
we get members of the truth.
distinguished senators,
Okay, now let me say.
committee. When Senator Snow was speaking, I listened keenly. His word was a exhortation, encouraging and urging to go to us and work in the interest of our country and people. I agree with you. I'm on the same line. Our country, our security is kind of questionable because there were too many irresponsible people that were brought in. And many of them became machine police. So please ensure that the country is safe and that we politicize the police and work in the interest of our Constitution. God bless you.
Senator Maggie?
Thank you.
Senator Maggie?
Thank you very much, Chair. The nominee, let me thank you personally for submitting to this committee what you claim is a drugs test. And the reason why I'm commending you is because the DEA and the police have been trying to fight drugs in the country. I'd like to ask you, are you willing to take a second test?
A second public test.
Second public test. So if we invited the captain to come down with you, accept to do your test.
Wholeheartedly.
Mr. Chair, I have a unanimous consent that we allow professional doctors from JFK.
Objection.
This is a procedure, ask for unanimous consent. If it says no, the chair will rule fine. Okay, after the hearing, maybe all, including myself, I'll be the person to join you to do it. If you don't agree, right, after the hearing, what it will.
I'm just in the building already. I'm going to the building, I'm going to show them ambush. I'm going to that's it.
Okay, Mr. Chair,
Senator Maggie, you are protected.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Protect Senator Maggie, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Nominee. You're being accused of having ownership in traffic management. That is for the Liberia traffic management. What is the knowledge of this Liberia traffic management? What knowledge do you have?
So, like you firstly said, you're being accused of having ownership. I would like to first and foremost state for the hearing of everyone, I have 0 shares in Liberia traffic management. And I'd like to reference you all to the registry. You can go and do all your due diligence to confirm that.
far as I knew about it, this was a group of investors that approached the Liberia National Police, not somewhere around the time of Director Mark Amla. And they worked out the concept until it reached to Director Massacre, went through Director Massacre, and then under my leadership, it went through the full process, submitted to the president from through the NIC, and then on to the House. That's where I remember it would start.
Thank you very much. The nominee, have you ever been dismissed or suspended while in the police from your junior office of the level to director level?
I've been suspended, yes, I've been suspended.
What was the reason?
I was suspended because I took an action that was within my purview. Someone felt that they had personal interest and that action coincided with the personal interest. There was this fellow who came from the U.S. to bury his mother, and he had a fiancée here who they had a scuffle. And she brought his complaint. She had mismanaged, according to him, she had mismanaged everything that he had sent, and she was only trying to use authority on him to avoid him from attending his mother's burial. So we investigated, we did charge him because he did have a scuffle, and we permitted a reputable lawyer to guarantee for him to go to attend his mother's funeral and come back the following day to proceed on to court. Her powers at the time decided that since I didn't keep him there to deny him from that one time honor of his mother, I should be reprimanded, and I was suspended.
Thank you very much. The chair, I'm the nominee. I didn't say there's no, on our constitution, the right to protest, the right to demonstrate, the right to free speech are all protected. Will the belief on your leadership protect the constitutional right of ourselves to do this thing like that?
Most definitely, sir.
As a nominee, I'd like to join. I've known you for a very long time. But the short time I came to know you, you became director of police. I saw you came from police on the leadership. And I want to thank you for that. I want to encourage you. So the super said, when I think the police were getting, when you ride the police very bad, very low. So I go sorry, I think it's a responsibility for us and government to help you achieve that. So I want to encourage you, like the lawyer said, make sure the police are fighting the police. Because what I mean, like, as soon as new government comes, the director, all the police officers, they see who now has the office of the president when they treat her. So I want to encourage you to keep the police professional. And the fact that you agree, when they come here, you're going to get my vote, but when they come here, you have to do a separate test.
You just admit to, sir?
Someone got drug test in your office. In my office. I will do my own drug test today. I'll be public too. I won't come to you and you want me to do the same thing. I will vote for you. Because I know you're going to be a very professional police director. I saw it when you begin police director. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So, by order of question, we have Senator Babla, we have Senator Clinton, we have Senator President Boko, and Senator Darrell Zero. 10 minutes each.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, nominee. I read your CV like others. I think you are trained and very much prepared for this position. But I just wanted to find out a few things. Being a woman myself, I think during your time in the leadership of the police, or probably after? Am I protected? Or after you may have heard that sometimes women or girls who are seeking help at police depots are violated by police. Have you ever heard of that?
I don't specifically remember a case of such, but I'll be glad if you could inform me of any that you know of.
Well, I know some happen when women go to the police. Sometimes at certain police depots, there are reports of violation. What will you do to ensure that our women are protected when it comes to seek help from the police?
So one of the things that we always tried to do was at every assignment to have at least a female officer there. You know, the police have been striving to beat up with resolution, with the UN resolution that speaks toward increased female participation, and we're somewhere around 22–23%. So we will deploy in a manner that's representative of the gender balance, so that we can accommodate all genders visiting our headquarters. And we'll put further measures in place that will even call for greater accountability of the officers who will be dealing with people at all levels.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Another issue of concern is the response to crime. Sometimes there is urgency for police to respond when things are happening. And let me just state an example of a woman that was gruesomely violated in the red light area not too long ago. The video showed that there was a particular police officer who was investigated. They didn't attempt to do anything. These are situations that make the community and the people to resort to more action, because we lose confidence in the people that are supposed to be protected. How will you ensure that the police under your leadership will be swift to respond to crimes whenever they occur? That's surely in the urban areas. Because in the interior, like one of my colleagues mentioned, some of our countries don't have their own police. But in Monrovia, where you see police going everywhere, and things are happening right under their nose, and they don't make anything, and nobody gets a question. How do you intend to build confidence in the police?
So building confidence and trust is everything about the service that we provide. And like you rightfully said, the reason why we see an increase in mob violence is because there's a serious lack of trust in the justice and rule of law sector. On the side of the police, we will do everything we can to engage the community proactively, to build strong relationship with them, and just be open and more accountable for our every action. I would like to use the Liberia Bible as a total one back, but again too short. Right now, the Liberia National Police has today 15 turnkey vehicles. That is, you get into be able to drive to go operational. And every last one of them happen to be right here in Montreal. The rest of the counties have got 0 vehicles. So response is almost non-existent. And that is why at times you hear officers making demand that before we respond, we need you to pay our way and stuff like that. So these are the kind of lack of logistics that even lead to that, and it doesn't even just undermine response. It breeds the corruption, because the officers drive, they have the mobile man on standby with a special charge, and if you need that response, you have to pay. So I mean, back to you all again. It is a serious emergency, very, very serious emergency, that there is a need for serious logistical help of the National Police if we must be able to police adequately and regain public trust. But we're going to do everything possible, everything that requires no funding, all of the action, because some of the things that give confidence doesn't require money. So all of the ones that are within our reach that we can do without funding, we will begin on them immediately as soon as we prefer.
Thank you very much. And speaking about logistics, one thing that I think the public will bear with me, that the police is one of the most, the institution that took over the use of logistics so very fast. The management of vehicle, sometimes you deploy these vehicles with the police and you see a very new brand new, within 6 months time, most of them are down. So what are you looking at that? Because it's one thing to give you the logistics, it's another thing to be able to take good care of it so that it goes for a certain number of years or a period. What are you going to do about that?
So I will admit that some level of recklessness can be in our organization at some point in time, but I also like to state that the police, the vehicles you see them give police are the only government vehicles that run 24 hours, non-stop. I mean, just like we only stop to change shift and we're going again. That being said, I always acknowledge them that as law enforcement officer, you are there to protect life and property. So when you're driving this vehicle, remember, you as a policeman, you still have to protect that life and property. Whenever you're involved in an accident, you have failed your duty as a police officer. So there are measures that we have put in place. There are simple policies, one of which, if I'm privileged, I will keep that policy, but it was one that really worked. They call it, if you scratch my car, everybody back there know the answer for the rest of it. Because I take it very personal. I tell them all these vehicles belong to me. I get up every morning, I check them. So if you go out there and you scratch one, before day breaks, you're also knocking some mechanic to spray that vehicle before I get up to see it. So we've put in a lot of measures, to prevent the destruction of government property. And this time around, we have even better measures to ensure that they're well protected and well maintained.
Lastly, someone mentioned about the split in the security force, now the police. We've witnessed our country has come to a point over the last few years that everyone has signed, including those wearing uniforms and carrying arms. Currently, we hear that after you left the police, there is a split. There's a group we call Greg people, and the other, I know whether they're your successor, Patrick people, and they are there. They are waiting for you. I like it when you said that your leadership was built on, I think, 4 pillars.
Yeah.
I remember leadership keep on very clear, followed by integrity and the rest of it.
Yeah.
But you need real leadership so that people don't drag you into that. The police force will all acknowledge that it's already shut up manpower. What we will do when we set aside a certain group of people who require skill and the ability to perform because they really belong to your side. What are you going to do to bring the two groups together? We've got to exit and I believe so that it's
Senator, thanks for the information. However, I go into a police service, one police, one unit, no favoritism, no special group, no divide. As a matter of fact, I'm on such that if somebody have a promotion and I mean whether it's valid or not, and we are asked to explain, I don't even remember what happened until the person who was involved started to explain before I can even recollect. My heart has no room for hate. My heart has no room for division. The Liberia National Police under me will be a united service, professionalized to serve the Liberian people. I will be very, very open and accountable to each and every one of you. People will come to you with different complaints, but please do not form an opinion. I'm just a dial away. Pick up the phone and call me, because when we start to professionalize the force, with some of these people who are acting in ranks where they do not have the requisite qualification to hold, are placed to the very rank, they will come with stories that, oh, just because I was this person's friend and now they changed me. So please, I will be very, very open. I'll be accountable to the committee. I will keep you all informed. I'll keep you all involved as we move forward. But the unity of the force is key, and I will lead that charge very, very seriously. I take it as the cardinal point of success, and as such, I will unify the service.
Thank you very much. You can rest assured that this committee is confirmed with exercise oversight, robust oversight, because we need a peaceful society to encourage outsiders to come and really invest, to improve our economy, and everything is centered around security and peace. So we will be there with you and for you and ensure that your work is done so that the right environment, if confronted, the right environment is created. Where is my vote will go? So thank you, Mr. Nominee.
Thank you, everyone.
Senator Clinton. Rachel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I like the atmosphere, especially in the room among the elders, because when this year started, there was a little bit tension. But Mr. Nominee, I am not talking much about qualification because we look at it 2 days now, and I think from your experience, you serve as the IG and before. So we know that, and then from our big brothers, they have all said that you did very well. But here is what I'm concerned about. The safety of the police themselves. Once I was walking when I was representative, and I was walking, talking to one of my friends, I saw a civilian attacking a police officer right on the grounds of the Capitol building, blowing him physically, and civilians were standing around and laughing. I just couldn't stand that. So why is such happening? Why will a civilian attack a police officer? Is it because you are not equipping them? Are they not properly trained, or they don't have those instruments that are needed for the police to protect himself? You know, on the grounds of the Capitol building. It was some 3 or 2 years ago. I saw this physically. So I'm concerned on the safety of the police. Do you intend to provide these safety instruments for these officers? Do they all are entitled to carry arms? Are they supposed to walk by themselves? Is it a teamwork that when a police officer is on duty, they walk 2 by 2? Or how do you intend to keep your police safe?
Thank you, Senator. Like you said, you gave a list of things. All of the things you listed above are a part of it, and more so the breakdown in order in our society. It is our hope to restore order using all of the necessary trainings that we have gotten in the respect for the rule of law. And back to you all, hoping that we can make the case for us to get the requisite support to be able to equip the police to be able to perform their duties without fear or favor.
Thank you. Also, the morale of the police, everyone talks about it, but I look at the physique of the police officer. I'm not encouraged by that. I love to travel. You know, when I was at the House of Representatives, I was in charge of foreign affairs. So I took most of my time traveling. And you go into other countries, you see the police officer, his appearance, that makes you respect him immediately. Our police officer uniform, the old man can say, do it up. They will have one uniform that they wear for years, tuned up, their shoes look like, you know, they are suffering. What plans do you have to build the morale of our police officers?
I plan, if confirmed, to make an immediate request to this body for support to be able to restore dignity to the Liberia National Police.
So how do you intend to deal with the corruption aspect of the police? Like Honorable Snow was mentioning, that when the hand goes into the commercial car, you know what is coming up. How do you intend to work? You see, I know that Africa, mostly Liberia or West Africa, there are issues that police just don't bring to a police station until there is no room for compromise. We commend them for that because the road is peace building. So situations that we can handle that don't have to come to the police station, we don't mind that. But my concern is, which has to do a little bit with morale. How do you intend to keep them from begging? Because I see it as a means of begging to survive in the police force.
We intend to beg you all to help to increase the salaries of the officers, and that will address most of your concerns. But more so, we're looking at deploying smart and intelligent technologies to help us to be more accountable. The likes of body cam, the likes of building up a smart city that will be able to help to deter criminals and be able to prevent some of the crimes that are preventable. So all of our good intention rest on support. I know I will be coming to you, but it's not just a door I'm going to be knocking. The good thing is, over the years, we've been able to build a solid relationship with international partners who can trust us, and we're going to be using that avenue as well to engage some of the partners. As a matter of fact, some of the partners are already reaching out and ready to support. So within the next 30, 60 days, we're hoping that you will begin to see some changes, like almost immediately, you will see some changes because we have solid commitment from partners who trust us.
Will you participate in the budget allocation of the police, or you will just support the budget that comes to the House or to the Senate because it comes from your boss? Are you going to be part of it to make sure that all you need is into your budget?
The budget preparation, yes. Allocation, no. Because we were prepared, they make the decision as to what to allocate based,
Who made that decision?
The Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, and then follow up.
How is that possible? How can they do that on your behalf?
So what we do, they asked us to send our budget for the year, and we will send everything that we need. And sometimes, most times, it's cut down almost by 50%, 60%, sometimes 70%. So they only give us what they appropriate to us, whatever we see. But we always make
So you are saying that helps to weaken the police force?
It does. It does.
Thank you, Mr. Nominee.
If you look at the budget right now, it's a manpower-based budget. You have 86% for salaries and only 16% for police operations, and that is very, very inappropriate. If you look at our deployment, we cannot even continue to sustain it. You have deployment going as high as 1,000 to 3,500 in some areas. People are complaining here that in some districts they don't have any police officers at all. So how can we recalibrate, retrain, and redeploy adequately so as to have a more appropriate proportionality and a better police per person ratio in these areas? The only way is through the necessary budgetary support from government and our international partners.
Which you have been denied over the time of serving as Angie.
Which are being informed that there are competing priorities. That's the one word that they always use, competing priorities.
And finally, I'd like to know is that what do you intend to do to change the police force?
I intend to be that leader that take on the responsibility of getting the officers to follow in the right direction. I intend to unify the force, as the Senator rightfully said, and I intend to support the well-being of the officers. I think if the well-being of the officers are actually paid attention to, the officers' morale start to boost, I think you will get a better service. It is my intention that this time around that we're giving this opportunity to bring service alive in the police. Before it's been a cliche, you see on our cars, serve and protect, but the service that has been referenced there is nothing different from what you get in the restaurant, from what you get in the church. And you go there, you feel served, you feel pleased. My intention is to bring service alive, that when you encounter a police officer, you will go home and tell your children that yes, this country is changing. We are headed on the right path. That is my intention.
I'd just like to tell you in this public manner, based on the record that I know of, and then based on your history in the police force, you will definitely have my 100% unflinching support.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Senator Francis.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Chair, distinguished senators. Like my colleague, my own colleague, Senator Peter, he said, we won't go through your credential. I'm going through your credential. We shared time in school. We shared time in professional studies. So at some point in time, we have been together. And also in the same energetic youthful age range. So I just want to go to some commitment points. And that commitment has to do with asking 3 questions, and then you just answer my commitment points if you able. I will always say this: you are going to dispense justice. Are you loyal about it? Yes or no? Yes, I am. Good. Do you own a security firm? Yes, I do own a security consultancy firm. Yes. So in your service, will you still be a owner? Absolutely not. Okay. Were you implicated in any audit report that require restitution of funds while at NBC or as body director?
At the LACC, yes, at the LACC, there was a case reported at LACC where it covered all of what was being asked by the senator, double emolument and payroll padding and everything. And the LACC investigated. It came to a point where there was a discrepancy of $250 US. And that amount was, it came from a travel that I took in to Holland. And the government had given, they made a pardon available, but then the check delayed. So the then finance person went and made a withdrawal from the account and gave me the amount to travel. When I got back, the check was ready. She went to the finance ministry, signed for the check, and brought it and gave it to me. When she gave the check to me, I endorsed the check for her to encash. She went to the bank and cashed the check. And then she brought back to me whatever change I had after she made the deposit. When the LACC investigated, they found out that $250 was short from that money she invested, she deposited. So I didn't, at no point in time, touch the check, touch the cash or anything. She brought my change to me. So that $250 that was short, I saw it, I was advised by my lawyers and everything that, listen, $250 versus an indictment, since they're saying you're responsible even after all of the explanation and everything. And I didn't feel it was favorable, it was going to be a favorable and a fair process for me if I had gone to the next level. So I made a note to file and I paid the $250 and the LACC issued me a clearance.
Thank you.
They said it wasn't criminal.
Thank you, Restitution. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Then I'd like you to make a commitment for my board. Will you commit to an equitable distribution of the police force? I come from Liberia County.
Yes, sir.
Will you commit to regularizing your vehicle and traffic law?
Yes, sir.
If I may ask, you know the last time I regularized?
72.
That was why I said you want me.
For your
Yeah. No, I'm not serious about that. You got to get that up to this. Yeah. Will you commit to within 100 days? It's a low-hanging fruit. Will you commit to returning the checkpoint to status quo?
100% so, sir.
Thank you. You can vote.
Thank you. Before Senator Gallo speak or ask his question, the Senator just came into the chamber. Can you just introduce yourself to the nominee kindly?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Police. I'm Senator Sai Joseph, Senator from Masurata County. Information is in the dasher.
No, it's a security information I want to give the chair.
Publicly?
No, yeah, because it's the same information. Mr. Chair, I just want you to recognize that to all the senators there, I want to recognize, I just got a call, I just got a text message from my district that people are protesting in front of barracks. So the police director will need to make sure.
I'm wrong for friends, but I ain't
See,
going
go
to
to
do
your job.
Order, please, order, please. Order, please, the police has come in charge. Order, please, order, please. Can we continue the introduction, please, senators?
I have the floor.
Yes, you have the floor, Honorable Sam, Senator Sam. You are only here, you are only authorized to introduce yourself. Any other senator in the house, the chairman that introduce himself? Yes, go ahead, Senator.
Hello. I'm Senator Bozo Kane, representing the people of Baptist County.
Thank you.
Senator Joseph Patel Jala, from local government, senior senator.
Thank you, Councilor. So we go to Senator Abraham Darrell Dillon for his cross-examination. Okay, Tyler, can you please kindly introduce himself? No, by me. All senators, go ahead. Go ahead, Senator. Thank you. Senator Dillon?
Good afternoon, Senator.
Yeah.
Most of my colleagues have spoken. They have asked very relevant questions, raised very relevant, very relevant comments. I want you to understand that this is a job interview. It is constitutional. This is the last vetting committee of the republic. Before people enter into public service at a certain level as mandated by the Constitution. I don't take confirmation here today. When you go outside, you have people out there looking to support their candidate. You're confirming that. And we care that is down. When we don't do our work, and we confirm you, not necessarily you generally, and the person who is confirmed is not performing, not delivering, the very people who are down there, the chairman squad, you can say, but are you confirming people? They can say we're walking here with placards, t-shirts, drums. It's something that you want to confirm. So I don't take confirmation here and there. I wanted to make that premise. So I have 10 minutes and I will think about it for 10 minutes, including my speech. Mr. Nominee, what is your assessment if you have done any evaluation, if you have done any of the police force you left and the one that you may inherit? Should we confirm you? Question.
Thank you, Senator.
So I haven't had the full assessment that I would need to do to be able to make a more informed decision. But just from the look of things and what we're privileged to at the transition period, because I headed the transitional working team at the police. There are many challenges. The police are faced with some very, very serious challenges that threatens the national security of the state. There's been some reversals of some strategic gains, and they need to be addressed immediately. However, when I am confirmed and have the opportunity to have access to all of the resources and the available documentation, I will definitely give you a better assessment of what it is. But from the look of things, it's not where I left it.
Thank you. Should you be confirmed when you commit that you will lead the investigation, first investigation, to bring closure when necessary to some of these unexplained suspicious deaths that occurred in this country that have not had final, conclusive closure, and also including the 3 missing Liberians from this demotion, through this demotion. There are a lot of suspicious deaths, especially notable, that are still lingering in the minds of our people. In the minds of our people. And can we close this, Senator?
Order, please. Give the senator protection kindly.
Do you commit on an oath that these matters will be according to case? Or you leave them question?
Yes, I do, Senator. As a matter of fact, some of the investigators who have been around for a while are even volunteering to lend support just to review some very, very old files dating years and years and years back, just to give closure to some matters. And it's not just over the last few years, we're looking at cases that have been there for as long back as in the early 2000s and stuff. All of them, absolutely no limits. Anything that we can find some piece of evidence on to bring proper closure, we will look into that.
So, I will, should you be confirmed, I want you to go on knowing that I'm a member of this committee. These are matters of our hearts. These people who, most of whom, died under circumstances unexplained and no closure. They are residents of the county they are representing. First, and they are Liberians, as myself. I'm very, very, very concerned about that, as they are representing. And I will be, in a constructive way, having the committee with Gregory many times. Let's move on. Mr. Nominee, the traffic in our country is due largely to lack of roads, we can understand, or somehow to lack of roads, we can understand, but largely in my view, to indiscipline, impatience, especially led by us, the quote-unquote big people. Mr. Nominee, do you commit that you will cause our traffic, vehicular traffic, to be a place of discipline, where a Senator Dillon got no business being there, taking quote-unquote fair lane in my view that does not exist in this country? You will have the courage, using the law, to act. Because when you act on Senator Dillon at his level, the ordinary man will know that we mean business here. my personal view is that when there's vehicular traffic, sometimes the ordinary man stays in the traffic until he sees one of us take the thing they call turn in the opposite lane, and then everybody jump through that. We have to reason out. That's my view. Do you commit to me that you will try as much to restore the legal thinking of vehicular traffic? Question.
Thank you, Senator. Over the last 3 weeks, we've been running some exercises using different means of transportation from as far as Broadville to town, and from the red light area to the city of Monrovia. The exercise has been to inform us about the drive time from these different locations at various times of rush and peak hours. And based on what our findings are, I can safely tell you we will be helping to improve the quality of life of our people by at least giving them a few extra minutes of sleep before you get up to run to work, by the measures we're going to be putting into place to help to decongest the traffic during rush and peak hour. And we will be taking some actions to also restore order, and I will request, when confirmed, to have an immediate meeting with this body, asking for support in that regard, because there are other things that I would like to address and discuss and agree upon that will give us the support we need to be able to roll it out effectively, and that the officers can act freely and fairly as they continue to enforce.
So, Mr. Nominee, I'm aware that there is a law that gives categorical officials of government the right to take what we call tailgate. So I know somebody may want to make that reminder. I want to make it clear I'm aware. But I'm also aware that that law says, especially us lawmakers, when we are coming to session and coming from session, no one will go to church. No one will go to football. Nothing is for my head. Because we must start this thing from us, ourselves, so that the ordinary man can see the discipline and conform. No, I just wanted to do that. Two more concerns went forward. Morale amongst the officers. Most times when people talk about morale amongst the officers, the men and women in uniform, people think there's only the incrementing the incentive. Senator Christopher Donkey made reference to even the men uniform that on him, the logistics to do his work. More besides, Mr. Nominee, protection of your men who you deploy in the field. A police officer stops Senator Dillon, and Senator Dillon does not have driver's license. He's in violation of the vehicular traffic law. That police officer has some courage to say, Senator Dillon, you park your car because you're driving without driver's license. Senator Dillon take the telephone and call you the director of police, and you say, you tell the police director, the police officer that will move on you from Senator Dillon. You think when that police officer sees you again, he will start listening. Free from intimidation, protection. Most think they're morale that when they do their job, they will get promoted. Do you commit to protecting?
Yes, I do, sir.
Then you lost it. I got a budget book, not for you. This is not a draft. This is the approved national budget 2023, January 1 to December 31, 2023. Approved, printed by the Executive Management. It is not a draft. In 2023, the 2023 budget. In 2022, this legislature approved 19.6 million for the police. I'm reading from the 2023 approved budget printed budget. Out of the 19 million, the police got 14 million for salaries for personnel. That means we got about 5 million, close to 6 million for operation and other costs. The fiscal outcome for 2022 says the exact figure that was approved by the legislation was fiscal outcome for 2022. 2023, this body approved 20 million for the police, 14 million for salary and other administrative costs, and 6 million left for operation and all other issues. Why am I doing this? I'm saying this because every time the police is called to go to a crime scene and they say no motorbike, the question is, why they don't make money do it? You are inheriting a budget projected on the very budget, the same amount, 20 million. About 6 million will be left for the police to function and operate. When you commission or ask for the commission of an audit of the outgoing administration, should you be confirmed? So we know what they did with all the money, and our policing get handcuffed, motorbikes, no new uniform. For the last 3 years, budget year, the police have got money in the budget. The country does not know this because this budget is picked by the public, especially the media, and everybody goes to see how much there for the lawmaker, and they close the whole 500-page document down. They tell that the whole 500 pages only the lawmaker that want to read it. Do you commit that you will commission an audit? Question.
Best practice depicts that, and I 100% commit to it.
Follow it. Follow it. This was Inspector General-Designate. We swear to uphold, defend, and protect the laws and republic of Liberia. The oath and the nominee talk was to say the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth during these hearings. I'm very much aware of what I'm saying. Thank you. Your job interview here. Yes,
Orders from the gentleman is protected. Orders from the gentleman is protected.
Thank you. Mr. Nominee. Do you swear or will you swear to support? The chairman said, I got it wrong. Thank you. I am taking my time now.
What do you do? 15 minutes.
Mr. Nominee, you will be done.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Nominee,
We're going to be carrying on from the process.
no, I need one.
Mr. Nominee, can you answer the question kindly?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, now, again, few senators came in. May you please introduce yourself so that Nominee can know your questions? Those senators just came in.
Okay, Mr. Chairman. My name is Senator Emmanuel Pedro. I retired already.
Senator Gomez?
quick.
Hello. My name is Emmanuel, General Banking Council. Thank you. So because of time, let me encourage my colleagues to just make it a little bit 10 minutes. If you can ask a question, 1 or 10 minutes, that would be good for this hearing. So at this point in time, we have council, So 10 minutes, please, for each other. If you get 210 minutes, that would be very good for this hearing. Having said that, Senator Bezek Fender is next, Senator Mimani Batikwa is next, and Senator Acosta S.J. James Banning, after Senator Councilor Acosta S.J.
Chairman, Senator McGill,
can you please?
Mr. Chairman, distinguished colleagues, I would like to take this opportunity and time to thank all of you. I intend to take 2 minutes of your time, or my 10 minutes. I ask you, I see Senator Dillon, I see Buffalo, I see Mangibi, I see Bombing, I see Sino, thank you. I see Lofa, I see Grandjia, I see Sierra Leone, I see Gregory, I see Buffalo, just to extend, Maserado, to extend my thanks and appreciation. Thank you all. Even Mima, of course. To thank you all for the vote and the confidence you have imposed me. We are here advance. For the report now, I say on the floor. The chairman. The chairman will be calling for So I want to thank you all. I respectfully submit. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Councilor,
yeah, I will tell you. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Maybe by way of full disclosure, by maternal relationship, Gregory is also family. But we are one of the 32 cities. Going to ask a few questions also because as our song wants you to do, we are proud of the past records when we were there. So we hope you will do the same. What I really want to know is that as a law enforcement officer, are you aware that every agreement are entitled to the same protection under the law?
Yes, I am aware, sir.
And are you aware that about 85% of the police are in Monrovia?
I cannot to do the percentage, but I know that majority of the officers are here.
By that is an indication that the protection of the people of this country is not equal. And you have to show that Liberians are treated with the same protection, honor, your service. I also want to ask, the country has many security institutions at our government structure. Are you aware of which of them that is cross-cutting?
Well, I think that is a little bit of a technical and national security issue that I would like to pull back on right now, sir. But the security sector reform did address that, and that's how we saw the cut in most of the other agencies like the MNS, the NBI, and creating a merger, and they left what was believed to be the most relevant agencies that supposedly should not have been cross-cutting. However, the issue of the transnational crime unit that was established, the TCU, to have all of the agencies work together for common good, I think is something that must be supported and will be reactivated immediately to avoid some of what you're talking about, sir.
Okay. From my level view, I'm not a law enforcement practitioner. Institution, security institutions are almost playing a role in every institutional, in security institution is the police. Because when something happens with the Ministry of National Defense, a required police intervention police will go there, and all of the other institutions. We have an experience where DEA had a drugs issue. And that drugs issue, I think you've heard about that huge quantity of drugs are taken in this country. This security committee invited all of them. And when they came, they told us containers that were received, that were under the protection of both police and DEA. To our utmost surprise, the Bolo DEA came and said they alone opened the container and felt nothing was there. Police were let out. We did not see a stand from the police because police also have a role with the DEA to ensure that the law is upheld, especially that is affecting the protection and security of the people of this country. I would advise in such instance, if it happens, please make sure that you insist the police to be allowed to play its role. Because when it happens, our people's lives are at threat. Look at the drugs issue now. And at the end, that case that went to court, the government lost the case. So you need to take very important set of it. Okay, you are the IG of the police. And you were the IG of the police. What did you not do? That you did when you go there, you do that.
So, last question.
Yeah, but what I don't want you to get confused of the topic.
We already confused.
So, Senator, thank you very much. I think you know that everything that you said, and we will work as a team. The sector is only as strong as its weakest link. So we got to hold together, and that's why I mentioned the support for the transnational crime unit, where all of the agencies can be represented to be able to work together on some of these transnational crime issues. When it comes to what I didn't do that I could do better when I get back to police, the application that we used that we used in 2016, 2017 that I mentioned earlier, that was blending community policing with other tools that are out there to support good government we have in this country. So it is our hope that the opportunity given us will be extended and that our officers can benefit from it and that we can work together to secure a better idea. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Senator, Councilor Cosby Esther.
Well, you said you do
Thank you, President.
Mr. Nominee, again,
You are every time.
Chair. Why you remind me of time?
You're protected, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, you're protected. Mr. Nominee, let me take it back. All my colleagues who spoke to the competence and professionalism, and add that congratulations.
Thank you,
for your preferment. And if you are confirmed, please go and serve our country well. Mr. Nominee, you are coming back to the position, if you are confirmed, where you served before, and where another person served in the same capacity to which you are nominated. And there have been a myriad of problems catalogued by my colleagues. I believe that when someone is coming into a new position, whether or not you were there before, the fact that you're coming back as a new person. And coming back as a new person will suggest to me that you're coming back with a new mindset. So can you please let us know what's your vision? What new vision are you?
Well, the service is a family. I mean, it's just like you just been away from your family for a long time, and you're delighted to get back home and see all of the members, the family of Blue. It is my vision that we are coming to this time around fully professionalize the Liberia National Police with your support and ensuring that for once the merit system comes alive in the Liberia National Police. I think that is the greatest motivation that we can give to the officers that will boost their morale and make the police attractive to other above-million Liberians who will be willing to contribute as well. Thank you.
In the context of interpersonal relationships?
Well, I think I'm a little overly a people's person, which can be detrimental at times. So I will try to strike a better balance as to how I relate to my officers. There will be absolutely no leniency. There will be a strict level of professionalism, and that particular teaching time.
We invited your predecessors and other senior officers of the police here many times. And one of the issues we raised with them was with the deployment of the office of police officers. Our concern was that the presence of the police was virtually absent in most parts of Monrovia and the county, my county, for example. And one of the things it was that there was a situation with the assignment of a police officer to concessions, and that has taken away many officers. We asked them to do a deployment plan to send to us. I don't know whether they did, so that we'll have an idea as to the numbers we're talking about, and to know what kind of decision we could take in terms of trying to mitigate the situation. And so, I'm sure you're aware of that. You're aware that some police officers are assigned to concessions. Can you?
It grew out of the continuous civil disturbances in those areas and the violent attacks on company workers and even private security assigned in some of those concession areas. So the police, through the Ministry of Justice and the Office of the President, thought it wise that, I mean, these people are investors, they are large taxpayers, so we should provide some level of support for them. One thing that we did consider in those deployments was the fact that they were not just there to serve as police for the concession, but they were there to respond to issues in the county. So if you look at where in some of these areas where they are police officers, if we're counting how many officers we have in that county, we will add in there because if there's ever a situation, that's the first line of response. That's the earliest response that we can use. I don't know what the full details are about those assignments right now, but once we can look at it, we'll advise appropriately and make sure that the officers are utilized in the best interest of the state.
It's also our understanding that the concessions do pay for the services of those officers. Are you also aware of that?
There is a compensation package that comes along with that deployment. Yes, I am aware of that.
So what is that money utilized for?
Sir, I cannot speak to that right now because
you were there before.
It was used for the compensation of the officers.
You were there before compensation.
Compensation of the officers.
You mean additional compensation?
Yes, yes.
Because they are salaried officers, right?
Yes.
Additional compensation.
Yes, sir.
And how was that, or how is that calculated?
Well, it's looked at more as hardship allowance that's paid by the. It's honorarium and hardship allowance that's paid by the concession.
So those are existing police officers or recruited purposely for that?
No, they are existing police officers.
Meaning that you took them away from the normal list or role of officers?
No, sir. The role they're playing here is policing role. They cover the county. That's where they are.
Okay. So when they're in the county, so those numbers are taken from the county. The real county is the police officer assigned, right? The existing officer.
They augment the strength of the county that they're assigned.
Right. Okay. So it's a regular assignment.
It is a police assignment.
Or it's a special assignment.
It's a police assignment.
It's a regular assignment or special assignment.
Anyway, it would be considered. I mean,
no. You are the professional personnel. Let us know. Is it a special assignment or
is it a
special assignment?
It could be categorized as a special assignment. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. I have a concern about the traffic. Mr. Nominee, if you walk around Monrovia, you drive around Monrovia, you observe that the traffic is chaotic. You see motorcycles, tricycles, all over the place, unregulated. They have become the laws, L-O-R-D-S, laws of the traffic. What do you intend to do about that?
So I know that is one of the major issues that's at hand right now. We had measures in place yesterday that we used to control these motorcycles. We have restrictions in place, like the time that they could operate in designated areas that they could also operate as well. We intend to engage with all of their unions, and we sit together with them, work with them, and come back with strategic measures to take in order to return to where we were when I left it.
They have this public safety concern as well, and that has to do with the sale of gasoline throughout in gallons throughout Monrovia, from Broad Street to St. God and all over the place. Something we never saw before. And you know, gas is combustible, it's flammable, and of course people also use that for petrol bombs. Is that public safety concern to you as well?
It is not just a public safety concern, it is something that's very, very personal to me. Some years back, I think around 2004, 2005, one of our officers, Mr. Laki, who was on such enforcement to try to stop people from selling gas in the gallon, got victimized and got severely burned. So that particular memory stays with me even up to today. Fortunately for him, he's still around. So every time I see him, I'm reminded of it. That's something that was a zero tolerance before, and it is a zero tolerance as soon as I'm confirmed, sir.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you. The next set of senators will cross-examine the nominees are Councilor Senator Jala from Local County, Senator Sir Joseph from Muscle County, Senator Bodo Kana from Barbara County, and Senator Tyler from Okay, so can we take 5 minutes? 5 minutes. Senator Zoe, please. So if you start making that noise, then we'll not finish. Yeah, can we do 5 minutes? Can we do 5 minutes now? Yeah, thank you. 5 minutes, please. Thank you. All senators, 5 minutes, please. Kindly.
Thank you. Thank you. You are presiding well.
Thank you.
Okay,
3 minutes, please.
Go ahead, Mr. Senator.
You have two chairs, two committee chairs.
You're in charge. How many?
Okay, thank you. Brother Coleman, let me congratulate you first. You are a person, citizen of this country. My first time coming across you, made me very big and proud. At the police station, when I went there as a lawyer, I was fighting in a way that only emergency, probably I should not have fight there. Your boys were all made to see that living is a hustler. This is going to go back to the house. And I gave hey, and they pass up for So, that's my first impression. And let me start with an advice. Discretion, police discretion in an entire world country, or other developed country, like Liberia, is not the same as police discretion in China, second world country. And then it's not the same discretion in the US, first world country. So you need to have a way to have your measure. Just like you did to me, was a very good measurement of discretion. And I think that should be followed through. Now, having said that, my first question is, do you intend to modernize the ethics, the board of ethics, the board of ethics? Because when you deal with your police, who may go against the police profession is the standard division of the board. Do you intend to improve or modernize that part?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The professional standards of engineering.
My second question is, if you will allow me, is I got a UC report more than 10, 15 years ago, which is still privileged. Police on the highway, our checkpoints, need to have some modernization. The money aspect of market women is reported in the UC report. I read last week before coming here. That report is more than 10, 15 years ago, and it's still happening today. So I would like that, if you don't have to answer some of this question here, if you can just take it on there and put on there, we'll see, because I'm going to look for.
Got 2 minutes.
I got 2 minutes. You know I'm the serious one, I'm looking for.
You're protected, Mr. Jonathan.
So the checkpoints on the highway for market women and our innocent aliens that want to travel, maybe from Guinea, from Liberia, or from Africa, or from Somalia, how they can be treated. I tell you from my own experience, one day I was chief of security for immigration. I was on Ashford Street when my immigration officer stopped an alien in a taxi. That the man cannot move. So I saw them, I said, oh, the man are pouring out. So I stopped the taxi. I asked him, what's the problem? He said, this man are pouring out, he won't go with me. What's happening on that road? I said, the man came from Iron Coast. He passed downtown. He passed Bama. He passed Akaka. He's in Liberia. And he said, well, I will apply you today. I said, okay. And my nephew, there you go. Leave me alone. There are a lot of things that take place. Also, are the police, in addition to the ethics and the highway patrol or the highway checkpoint, the traffic, the modern traffic, especially common town, Dallasville, it can be a nightmare. And it can appear that we don't have police in the country. Anything you can do to design and build a system that will prevent people from using their car to Pocatello, to walk, to Pittsburgh, or doing something different in a very big way. This one, I don't, because of time, you can take that on a study. Because when we are calling by it, when those traffic will be problem on you. When we are calling by it, that can be very wrong. So, those are the few things, and let me provide you again as you take up this disciplinary assignment. It's a return march.
Thank you.
And I hope you will do better than what you did before. And you have local support.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilor Jones.
Were you
Thank you.
Were you truthful when
So,
you said
just nominee, we have one of our senators that came in from Cape Town, Senator Tilo. She's ready just for nomination. So, the next senator is Senator Sir Joseph from Montserrat. Can I close examine the nominee?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and colleagues. First of all, Mr. Coleman, let me say congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
5 minutes, please.
Speaking, representing the people of Montserrat County, there are a few concerns that I want to raise. We have 5 minutes. So I will then use 3, you take 2. So the issue of mob justice in Montserrat is very serious. I want to know, Senator of the county, what plans do you have to curtail that situation? Is increasing on a daily basis? If you look at the number of persons who have lost their lives, just 2023 is a huge number. So the issue of mob justice is a major issue in Montserrat County. And I'm also concerned about after service for the police officers when they have served and if they have circumstances of wound, I mean, they take care of themselves. What program you have in order to introduce that those police officers will be taken care of during the services when they are accident, where they can be taken care of, not just be home and be frustrated. We have few police officers who got wounded during service. One of them is during the Ebola crisis, when the chlorine went in his eyes, and today he's blind and he's just home, frustrated. And the police retire him, I mean, no other benefit and what have you. So that's one of my concerns, Senator. Another thing, Mr. Coleman, is that the unwanted vehicles in Montserrat County, you have too many trucks flying the street in Montserrat County or around the country, not road water. What's your plan on that? I think the decisions that need to be taken. One of your police officers lost their life during an accident on the Crown Hill area. And then another thing is that the concessionaire need to pay for those police officers serving on the site. The reason the people are going to create riots or they'll be riots if they don't live to their corporate social responsibility. And then they want the police to protect them. That's not the case. They should be able to take care of the people. They should be friendly with those people. So if they want police protection, we should ask them to pay the government so that those police officers will be well taken care of. Those police officers can be dying, in the bushes, dying, or what have you, and not happy on that job. Sometimes some of those areas they exchange fires. And I mean, it's wrong, and those police officers will be wounded and there'll be a problem. I also want you to comment on that. And then Another thing is that if we need to decentralize the police as it is in the counties, but then we'll budget for budgetary support. When the 15 counties, each of those major deployments should go along with deployment along with the budgetary support. But some of the areas you go there, you don't really recognize them as police officers. The way no materials, they have to walk to even go discuss the issues and what have you. So we want to be on par to other countries. So we need to look at that. Again, finally, thanks for your support in English Island community.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Nominee.
So the issue of mob justice, it has to do with trust in the justice and rule of law sector. So the police have a part to play, but the courts also have their own part to play as well. So because sometimes when we make arrest and they'll file that to court, if for any reason the court releases that person and they go back, the next thing is the police put that court didn't put into nothing and they let it go. So I mean, we will have continuous dialogue with community members to enlighten them as to what our various roles are, and most importantly, to limit that we have to build trust and gain the legitimacy of the community. And that will take, I mean, that continuous engagement and interaction with the local communities. After service issue has to do with pension and insurance. Like if people get hurt on the job, what kind of insurance do we have? So we will review the existing insurance and look at the best, how long it stands for, and see what's the best option that's available. In that case, the officers themselves will have a chance to sit down and listen to different packages, and they can make a decision for themselves as to which one of the packages they feel would be best for them to be able to cover them while they perform their task. The issue of pension, that is a sticky issue because the police for many years were not a part of the NASCOP. I think the police just joined NASCOP, and most of the officers that are going to be retired have not been able to meet the required months that you have to deposit within the NASCOP fund before you can benefit from it. So that is one thing that has to be looked at. I mean, only the younger officers now who have that longer term will be able to benefit directly from that NASCOP fund. The roadworthiness issue of vehicle inspection, we are concerned about that. We're hoping that at some point in time we can have the issue resolved where we will have access to facilities that will enable us to be able to carry out roadworthiness inspection. Meanwhile, while we're waiting for access to those facilities, I will have the team from public safety start to look at how it was done before. Because way back on our Director Tink, there were vehicle inspection carry out roadworthiness certification before vehicles are on the road, and we didn't even have those facilities here. So while the modality is being worked out for the facility to come online, the public safety division will be responsible to look into that, see what the basic requirements are, and ensure that we work with the Ministry of Transport that before people get registered, at least they have some certification from after inspection. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm pleased to announce the arrival of the President of the Bon County Senator Prismo.
Thank you.
I've been announced Senator Boto Coleman of Baldwin County.
Mr. Nominee, congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
All senators are saying congratulations that they are voting to give it to you. So mine will be added too. And that was the day I want to ask you a question that has been preying on me. I really want to know the function of the highway patrol police.
Madam Senator, as the name suggests, the highway patrol is there to provide police presence along the highway because, you know, most of the time we have spaces in between there that are uncovered. So they're there to help with the detection and prevention of crime and also to look at public safety issues, looking at the issue of vehicle speeding, traffic violations, and what have you. So that's why they're deployed in those areas.
Yeah, I'm asking this because I'll be a whistleblower for the government. Because I know what they are doing and what they will continue to do. So their complaint will be coming to me through me, especially on the Tony Highway.
Thank you, Senator. We appreciate that very, very highly.
Okay.
And once you put me on record, I will act appropriately.
Thank you. Another thing, you came in well dressed. So, people give example of other countries. Our neighboring countries, Sierra Leone. When you go there, you see the police. You can admire them. You think about your country. But when you come back to Liberia, either the blue is faded, the trouser, or the shirt. Either the shirt is dirty, most of the police. So my advice to you, as you came in here well dressed, make sure the police of the Republic of Liberia should do the same.
Thank you, Senator. I commit to that. And please pick up the phone to compliment me when you see them within the next month or two, fully dressed, representing how I look as I walk in here today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Budokane from Blackwood County. Now we take Senator Tata from.
Thank you, I confirm already.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Senator Zoe from Grand.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Mr. IG.
Senator Snow spoke for you already.
Okay,
Senator Snow spoke for you already. I don't want to tell you that. Senator Snow spoke for you already.
No, in another branch there. Mr. IG Destiny. Thank you for coming. I've been knowing you for the past 18 years. You're a professional person. I want to share my own story with you with the outgoing IG I'm going to replace in a few hours, a few days. Last year, before I come to my question, I want to share with my colleagues and the public. And my colleagues are asking you some questions that you may not be happy with. Is the Constitution right? It's not out of prejudice. But what happened between your outgoing IG and myself last year? The position that you are sitting in there, you sat there a few months ago, and you were trying to pay respect to one of our colleagues in front of Senator Aaron Dillon, also Royal County. And I called you to order, and you were advised. From that day, I decided to test him. People went to my house and said, yeah, we enjoy you today. At least the police officer must respect the lawmakers, more especially the director. You always believe in that. So thank you. I said, but what I did in plenary, he's a professional person, but you hold it against me. He said, no, you can't do it. I said, okay. In the presence of those that went to me, I called him. Lone Star has that record between he and I. If you deny it, maybe moratorium and I don't know what Lone Star has. I just told him, I said, look, IG, he said, yes. Senator Fennel, I said, I'm on attack. He said, where? I said, at my house. A criminal entered now, will close the gate and need the PSG to come and pick them up. He said, I will call you back. 10 minutes later, I called. He never answered. Yes. 25 minutes later, I called, he answered. Apparently, he was in a meeting, but what he did, he answered when you were in conversation with other people. So, one of his security or somebody said, but check the phone is on. He said, oh, that's open again, I'm working me. Then he tell them they're to go and rescue him. I just said it to the public.
You are more protecting whoever you need to stop, Senator. Because you keep answering questions from me.
Mr. Chairman, you are using 3 minutes from me. Yeah, 3 minutes. So it will be added to my time.
You got a dispensation.
Thank you, sir. So Mr. Accusations. For me, it never came from Soon Commander of the new IG 2016, 2017. Went through the ring of fire. We believe you are very qualified. You went through all the requirements to be a police officer. And in our presence, you were awarded by the Air Force team 2016, 2017, the best police director in West Africa. I have the document. Very good. So, before I come to my question, let me get through that part. So what happened a few months ago in Grand Juliet County, the politics that went on, I believe very strongly. That was a governor's branch when police I assigned the county, the commander, when I called him, he said, Chief, rest assured, it will be handled. But you know, those commanders in those counties and districts and towns and villages, they take instruction from head or headquarters. 2 hours later, I called him. He said, Chief, will you please call the IG? I said, people are burning houses. Right now, as you speak, that's very dedicated. Another man, he has sweat, he's threatened. Not justice. Later on, they say the man hang himself, but police will never show record where the man was hanging himself and walking. No. All the things arrived from when you're at PAM, when people try to advise you to do the right thing. Same thing I told him, RG, everything that you're doing will come back on the president. What I said to him yesterday, where are we today? You are not happy. And when you are the head, those that are around you, if they're not doing well, you take the blame. That's the political consequence we went through 2023. Because everybody is afraid to tell somebody the straight talk. The straight talk, I want to go tell him, tell to test him to say I'm under attack. He never knew he answered his phone and called. Therefore, we will know the intention. From that day, I'm traumatized with Liberia police. I feel protected by myself, girlfriend, myself, second in my life, than Liberia police. From Patrick Sloop, the Liberia police IG. And I believe you will not be that kind of person, you are not that kind of person. So, whatsoever question our police ask them, you yell at the end. I want to ask you, the police that you're going to take over in a few hours to come or days, are you going to allow them to wear party t-shirt under the uniform, party t-shirts under the uniform, UP or CDC as usual? Yes.
So the leader called the tune. Trust me, I don't even need to mention it, you know better.
Thank you. The next question. Even though Senator Makeda was more small than Ango. In the Unsolved, when we see those days were coming from Bomai or working with Bomai. When we see the police in the traffic police, no need for them to stay in front of a car. I felt whistle away for the police. That means they can use it for football game. Police officer can stay anywhere, blow that whistle, that car will stop. But today, the police can stay in front of trucks, small cars, and SUV. What do you intend to do with the traffic police? Are you going to equip them for them to be respected in the traffic?
So the first thing we intend to do a lot of in-service training. I think it's been many years and some of the trainings have slipped through the crack. So we intend to go back in-service training and then equip them appropriately to make that requisite representation. Then again, it comes back to you all for that support because what you're asking for, it comes at a price. So if we are guaranteed the support that is required to make sure the police represent the state, every time I travel, I go to somewhere new, the first person I look for to understand how that country runs is a police officer. When you go, you look outside, you see the police officer, you know whether you're in a serial country. When you get there, I mean, once you see them, you know that when you don't even talk to you, you just gotta look and you follow that order. It's the same thing, it's nothing different. If the training is given, if necessary resources are provided, I believe that Liberian people will respect the rule of law and we will all get along and this place will be better.
Good. Thank you for that answer. Question number 2.
Thank you. The last question, please.
No, he told me the
last question.
Okay, give me 5 minutes.
The last question.
No, second to the last. Second to the last, I think and then last.
That's no spot about him.
Mr. Accusations. Because I come to meet the IG and wear blue. And look the other and see another blue. So, Mr. Accusations, I believe very strongly, maybe you don't know, but for the past 6 years, do you know that you have a divided police?
So that question, I think when they speak of that division, they speak more towards comparative leadership. And it's people who see the police as, under the leadership of this person, it was like this, but I think we've upheld standards. So I don't think it's a division amongst the officers. It's just that comparison as to what the expectation of leadership should be. But I can once again guarantee you all that I go in as a uniting force. There's one body, there's one police, one family of you, and that family will be unified, and we will lead this charge to make you all proud and make the Liberian people proud and restore order in this country.
Thank you. I want to assure you, as Zoe Malapeno, retired representative now Senator Zoe Malapeno of Grand Country, you are my foe.
Thank you, Senator Sopeno from Grand Gila County. The last senator will speak, and then we will do a closing remark with the Senator Taylor from Nakemo County. Okay, after Senator Taylor will be Senator Moore from Bob County. Then we close the cross section and I make the remarks.
Thank you, Chair, and I want to extend my thanks to the people for but I would like to ask 2 questions, just to number 1. Are you aware that there is no person of police in the Imperial County in Liberia?
Yes, I am.
Sorry if I ask this, but it's important that I know so I do come soon. But do you have a fixed plan as to how you can solve that problem in the county?
Well, yes, it requires redeployment. There are support that's needed for that, to move the officers to be able to rotate them. You have people in some of those counties that have been there forever. I mean, to even rotate them right now, it requires some level of support. But we're looking at the matrix already. Part of our administrative meeting we held the other day, we discussed how we can improve the police per present ratio in all of those different areas. So while we don't have all of the answers yet, we are working towards improving the deployment all over the country.
Will you be involved into the setting up of your budget, the police budget, before coming to us? Because we had, a few years ago, we had a culture of police director telling us that there is something that is either to work with. Will you be involved into the formulation of the police budget so that you won't come to tell us again, look, the budget has passed and we don't have money for this, we don't have money for that, so that can be commensurate with your plan for the police?
So what we could do to address that situation is to look at the envelope that will be sent to us, fill up the envelope and do the actual and submit both to you all, because our actual budget is always way smaller, larger than the envelope that is given to us. So we will send it to you so you know exactly what we're asking for and what will be allocated.
So our major concern has been the police accepting the envelope because the director won the job. And he don't want to tell the president or whoever in charge that the envelope is sent to me, it's not enough to run the police. So you accept the envelope because you want the job and you want to be one of the person who says yes sir to your boss. But the police control the security of the country. So I would anticipate that you get involved into the formulation of your budget so that you reflect what you want to see happening.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Senator Taylor. Now, Senator Moy from Bon County. Thank you.
And to the RD Designate and to the chairman and colleagues, I mean, for me, I've had passion to support the LNP and all paramilitary institutions in our country. Policing, security. I don't get it. And I want to ask you frankly, will you accept this job at the detriment of your professional status?
Senator, could you rephrase?
Will you accept, when you are confirmed, will you accept the job at the detriment of your reputation?
I don't think there's anything repetition, so I don't think, yeah.
Okay, thank you, RG Designate. I say that to me, we have not failed as an institution that has the appropriate and authority on our constitution to support the police with the legal resources that we have. But it will surprise you to know that when the former IG came here, he made a plea to this plenary, and we put in money in the budget to procure vehicles, motorbikes, and uniform for all police officers across the country. More than 1 year after the appropriation, the IG appeared here again. I specifically asked him what was the status of that money. And he was not brave enough to tell this plenary that finance had refused to pay the money for reasons going to that institution. As a result, everywhere, our citizens are suffering because of it. If we go to the depot, we complete to the fact, this is whatever, they will be pulled by a few oil and put it in a motorbike or go rent motorbike for me to go. So I'm asking you, if we give you all the necessary support we are prepared to do, will you be afraid to tell this body that Father has not paid the money in the public hearing that we want to inquire from you because you want to keep your job?
Absolutely not, sir. I mean, I will, once I get here, I'm on over, I'll speak the truth and the truth only like I'm speaking now, sir.
Thank you very much. You have my support. And like others have said, with the budget and record, bringing that budget back here, we want to advise the executive of the they will just suggest. But to put in all the necessary support so that we can have, once again, a police that will be respected and that will deliver on the services which they are under the Constitution to do. Thank you, you have my support, and that will be my stand on this budget that is coming for the LNP and all other paramilitary institutions that have our first line of security before any other thing can happen. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Wood. Thank you to all of the senators who cross-examined our nominee. Thank you so much. By way of customs and tradition, I would love to give my deputy, which is the dean of this honorary 55th legislature, 2 minutes for a closing remark.
Mr. Chairman, distinguished colleagues, Mr. Nominee, I would say you are lucky. I would say you're very concerned about Well, we ask everybody pressing you for your quality to get some of your competence and the work you did before. I tell you during the time, you go to work at the street, downtown, 6, 7 o'clock, and no one will pick your pocket or contact your phone.
Yeah.
But after that, those areas became a local area. So we thank you for coming, and the way you responded to all of the questions is our prayer and fervent hope that you will live up to the expectation of the people for this country and our new Senate that may possibly perform it. What I hear, I think you're good to go.
Thank you to our honorable union of the 55th legislature and co-chair on security. I'm glad to have sat and supervised this conversation and I sat patiently and heard the remarks and the responses. But let me remind you, Mr. Nominee, that I am a security expert, 34 years intelligence. You have a boss who is in me to support you. But trust me, you will give me the best ever. I want to make history as chairman of national security so that I will let many people go to bed sleeping sound in honor of police director Gregory Coleman. There are other issues, other information that we have, but we will call you these as the borders of national security. We don't feel comfortable to discuss those informations here. We will call you in a small session committee room to be able to confront you with those informations for your own reading and for understanding. And we will ask you to commit yourself to those concerned so that the Liberian National Police can have an RG that will be a unifier, that will be somebody who will be professional, and Liberia can be proud of you. I want to say thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much. Mr. Sanya, can you please discharge the nominee? Mr. Chairman,
Thank you.